Joshua wants to know about our water and how can we keep our water clean and pure. You know, we are sitting on 21% supply of world's drinking water, pure water. And we as the stewards have a responsibility to protect our Great Lakes. And to do that, we must ensure that we shut down Enbridge Line 5 immediately. It is a ticking time bomb, and if that line ever breaks, it would create a huge problem. Secondly, I will make sure companies like Nestle can no longer steal our water. Currently, Nestle has a sweetheart deal. They can take as much water as they want from our Great Lakes for $200 a year. I will put an end to that. In terms of drinking water, we've seen what happened in Flint when the governor tried to run this state like a business. His emergency managers tried to save a little bit of money and ended up poisoning the citizens of Michigan in the Flint area. It is important that we replace all of the lead lines, not only in Flint, but we have lead lines in Detroit, we have lead lines in Saginaw, we have lead lines in Bay City, and some of the cities in Michigan have lead levels higher than that in Flint. And as a scientist and as a chemist, I understand what the toxic effects of lead can be on a person's health, including mental health. So we ought to, and we owe it to the people of Michigan that we provide them clean and pure drinking water. It is not a privilege, but it's a fundamental right of every Michigander. So Tyler wants to know about Flint. So one of the things I want to do is have a registry of all of the Flint residents that got exposed to lead toxicity and lead poisoning. We, as a state, the state did wrong to these citizens of Flint. And I want to make sure that the state monitors the health of all those that got affected and exposed to lead. And I want to make sure that we provide healthcare, free healthcare to these people who have been affected. There's a question that Justin wanted to ask about a lawsuit that was filed against me by the buyers of my company. As you guys know, 2 years ago, I decided to sell my business, and the business was doing very well. But I decided to sell my business so I can devote the rest of my life to public service. So I sold my business in November of 2016, gave a little bit of the money to all of my 50 employees, and put some money into my campaign. Now, the business went into a slump for a short period of time, maybe about 7 months. And the buyer got panicked and looked like they needed a scapegoat for the downturn in the business. And they sued me. They tried to negotiate with me. And I told the buyer, look, you had 4 months to do the due diligence. You spent over $1 million to do due diligence to find out everything you can about this company. And I haven't done anything wrong. And so I refused to settle it. I refused to pay them anything and challenged them to go sue me. And that's what they did. I intend to fight it, and I will win it. That's the kind of a leader I am. I don't let anybody bully me. I don't let anybody intimidate me. And that kind of a strong governor I will be for Michigan. And I will stand up to right-wing lawmakers if they try to just say no for the sake of saying no. We need a governor that has a strong backbone to implement strong progressive ideas in Michigan. Yes, the question is, am I going to be ready to take on the Republicans as the governor? I will. I have lived my life through a lot of adversities. So I'm nothing new to adversities. I am used to being an underdog. I am used to operating without having much leverage. Because I'm a good negotiator, I'm a fighter, and I will take on the Republican Senate. And if we are lucky, we will have the House turn Democratic. But even if the House is not Democratic, I know how to get things done. And I will use the power of my office, the power of the veto power the governor has, to make sure that we negotiate good solutions. And I will certainly be open to ideas. I would certainly be open to listening to all stakeholders when we together arrive at good solutions that make sense. But if the Republican Senate wants to say no for the sake of it, I will stand up to them. And if necessary, I will go to the people of Michigan with my ideas and get support and put pressure on the lawmakers to do the right thing. One of the first things Snyder did was tax the pensions of retirees, just to give $1.8 billion tax break to the corporations. I will be happy to repeal that tax on retirees' pension, because state of Michigan made a commitment to the retirees, and we need to let that commitment stand. There is sometime I've seen retirees having to make a choice between prescription medicine or food. And we need to have our retirees, the first responders who worked hard all their life, to be able to retire in dignity. Dan wants to know about a donation I made to the McCain campaign. Dan, I have donated about $32,000. And usually these donations happen when a candidate or a committee of a candidate calls me or invites me to a fundraiser. And 29,000 out of the 32,000, almost 90% of the money that I've donated, I have donated that to Democrats. There may be just one exception, and that was this fundraiser that I got invited to. And I went there because I wanted to question Senator McCain about some of the immigration policies. And that was the only way I can walk up to him and question him. Now, Alex wants to know about how do we bridge a gap between the progressives and the moderates. End of the day, we are all Democrats. And I think our goals are not all that different. What we want to do is get away from the Republicans who have rigged this system in favor of the top 1%. And we all want to do, all Democrats want to do, is make this economy work for all, not just the top 1%. And I think I would be a governor. Not only I'll be the governors for the progressives, I will be the governor for the moderates, but I will also be the governor for the Republicans and the moderate Republicans. As a governor, I want to make sure our government works for all of the people of Michigan. And many of the problems are very common problems. We need to solve problems about education. Take our education to the top 10%. We need to fix the roads and the bridges and ensure people have clean water. We need to make sure people's civil rights are not violated. You know, what we have seen last 7 years is attack on workers' rights. What we have seen is attack on women's rights, and we need to protect that. So I think many of us have a lot more common ground than we believe. And I think I'll try to bring people together, not divide them based on either our ideology or religion or color or economic status.